Ms. Gann, how are you?
Doing great. How are you?
Good. Let's see, Ms. Bridgewater, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Judge, and good afternoon, everybody else.
Can you tell us the SAP reset date, please?
The reset date for SAP is March the 15th.
Good afternoon, Ms. Cortez. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 001135C with battery family violence. Is Mr. Howard on the line? Pre-trial? Okay, it doesn't appear that Mr. Howard's on the line yet. Afternoon, Ms. Howard.
They're coming, Judge. They're coming.
Okay,
They're coming.
Your Honor, this is her first arrest.
okay.
If you want to wait, we can.
No, that's fine. Go ahead, Ms. Arnold.
Okay, Your Honor, we are requesting a $3,500 surety bond for the battery family violence. No further contact with Anderson Crowley. Anderson spelled ANDERSON, Crowley spelled CROWLEY. A stay away from 8590 Bohannon Road, Bohannon spelled BOHANNON, and that is in Fairburn, Georgia. A one-day anger awareness and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Your Honor, this incident happened on February 27th of this year at that Bohannon Road location. Mr. Crowley and the defendant share two children together, and Mr. Crowley currently pays for the rent and the internet at the defendant's home. For some reason, the defendant came to Mr. Crowley's house to confront him about the Wi-Fi not working at her home, and a physical altercation ensued. Officers, when they arrived, were able to see scratches on Mr. Anderson's face, lip, his arms, and his back. The defendant had no injuries, so she was arrested at that time. Your Honor, based on the facts of this case, we are requesting that $3,500 surety bond. We were able to reach out to the victim as well. And Mr. Anderson stated that they are no longer in a relationship together, but as I stated before, they do share two children. He does not want any contact with the defendant. And has stated that this is not the first time she's been physical with him. And he's concerned about what might happen when she gets out. He is also requesting a third-party transfer for the children for visitation and a stay away from his incident, from the incident location. And also a one-time law enforcement escort to retrieve the belongings. He did mention that he would be on Zoom, so when you're ready, you can sound for him, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Arnold. Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Evelyn Cortez is 31 years old. She is a long-term Atlanta resident. She has three children, boy and a girl, both ages 3 years old. She is the primary caretaker and she is not receiving child support. We are unopposed to the stay away, as Ms. Cortez indicates that she does not live with Mr. Crowley. She completed college. She has a master's in clinical health counseling. She is an intake counselor at Willowbrook Tanner. She has been in that position for the past 2.5 years. She also has a part-time job at Connected Minds as a counselor. Your Honor, she denies the allegation. She states that she was merely acting in self-defense, as Mr. Crowley has been violent toward her in the past. We are unopposed to the no contact and stay away orders, and would again request a third-party transfer. And I do not believe that Ms. Crowley still has belongings there. I'm sorry, Ms. Cortez still has belongings there. May you clarify that for me, Ms. Cortez?
No, I don't have anything there that I need to get.
So we do not need a one-time law enforcement escort. And given that this is her first arrest and she denies being a primary aggressor with her community ties, I'm requesting a signature bond, Your Honor. Thank you.
If Mr. Cortez is on the line, this is your opportunity to address the court. You do not have to address the court, but if you would like to, this will be your opportunity. You'd have to unmute yourself and activate your camera. All right, let's see. There being no response, it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial one-day anger awareness class. No further contact with Anderson Crowley. Stay away from the 8590 Bohannon Road address. third-party transfer of the children for visitation, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Cortez.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, South Annex. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
All right. Who do we have in courtroom 2?
This is number 1, Mr. Cofield.
Good afternoon, Mr. Cofield. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Cofield, you've been charged in case 22 CR 001130D.
Now, Ms. Reagan.
Courtroom 2, can you mute yourself for the meantime, please? Thank you. You've been charged with battery, family violence, cruelty to children in the 3rd degree, 2 counts, and battery against a female who is pregnant. Afternoon, Mr. Howard.
Judge. Second arrest, 2019 cruelty in the 3rd, 2 counts, simple battery. The cruelty was non-pros. I think it's the same victim.
And what happened with the simple battery?
I think it was dismissed.
Okay.
But I know it's the same victim. That's what it was. The case was dismissed, but it's the same victim.
Okay. So he has nothing else except for the 2019?
That's it.
Okay. Thank you. Let's see, Ms. Arnold.
Yes, Your Honor. So for the state is requesting for count 1 for the battery family violence a $4,000 surety. For count 2, a $1,000 surety for cruelty to children. For count 3, a $1,000 surety for cruelty to children. And for count 4, battery against a female who is pregnant, a $4,000 signature bond for a total of a $10,000 split bond. We're asking for no further contact with Tatanisha Jordan, spelled TA-TANISHIA, Jordan spelled JORDAN, or minor children, a stay away from 138 Lamar Avenue Northwest in Atlanta, a one-day anger awareness course, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Your Honor, this incident happened on February 15th of this year at the Lamar Avenue location. Ms. Jordan advised that the father of her children and the defendant in this case came over to her apartment and started arguing with her and wanted to see her phone. To get away from him, Ms. Jordan advised that she went inside her apartment and the defendant followed her inside. Ms. Jordan advised that the defendant then grabbed her and threw her to the ground, causing scratches to her arms and causing her to have a busted lip. Ms. Jordan's 2 children were present when this happened, and her 9-year-old son told officers that the defendant was beating his mother. Ms. Jordan was 7 months pregnant at that time. Your Honor, we do believe that the defendant will reoffend. Although the charge was dismissed, he did have the 2019 simple battery and 2 counts of cruelty to children, as pretrial has stated, with the same victim. So we are concerned for her safety. We were not able to reach Ms. Jordan. We did attempt, but the number did not belong to her. So we were waiting to get a call back, but have not heard at this time, Your Honor. So we are concerned for her safety. So we are requesting that bond as stated, as well as the no further contact and the stay away. And I do apologize, Your Honor. Our victim's advocate just messaged me and said that she was able to speak with her. So she is online. She's on the line. So when you're ready to address her, you can.
Okay, I see you there, Ms. Jordan. So I'll give you the opportunity to speak if you like in just a moment. Good afternoon, Mr. Dark. Is this your case?
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon. How are you?
Good. I'm doing well, thank you. You can proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, Mr. Cofield is 23 years of age. He is a lifetime resident of the state. He's currently employed. Basically, he washes vehicles. Previously, he did some landscaping work and other odd jobs. My understanding, Your Honor, is that Mr. Cofield is the father of the child of the alleged victim, and that child is soon to be born in the coming months. Additionally, he has a 2-year-old child as well. Your Honor, I do understand that they are in a romantic relationship with one another. Mr. Cofield vehemently denies the allegations against him and that there were any acts of violence that actually took place. Your Honor, I do understand that this is a second arrest. Of course, an arrest is an arrest. It is not a conviction. And so I know the court can give appropriate weight to convictions, but I would just ask that the court would just consider the fact that a judge, a prosecutor, and everyone had a fair opportunity to assess that previous case, and the decision, for whatever reason, was made to dismiss it. I don't think that dismissals based on my line of work are gratuitous. I've never had a prosecutor just do me a solid and say, just because I like your guy, I'm going to dismiss it. Usually when a case is dismissed, it's for good reasons, and the state concludes that it's in the best interest of everyone for why that takes place. So I don't want that held against Mr. Cofield. Your Honor, I would ask the court to strongly consider a signature bond to treat this case as what it actually is. It's a defendant who's before the court who has no convictions whatsoever. Looking at the Ayala factors, his strong ties to communities, I believe that he is a great candidate for bond. And I do believe that he would be quite successful as a candidate for signature bond. I have no objection to the stay away provision. I would ask the court to consider no violent contact, considering the relationship of the parties, the fact that they have a child together, that child is soon to be born. I am respectful to the victim, and I'm actually glad that she's on the call so she can have some say in that as well. But that's pretty much it, Your Honor. We would just ask for a signature bond, and that the court would consider, based upon whatever the victim says, no violent contact. If she says she doesn't want to have contact, we're with it. But if she would like no violent contact, I would ask the court to strongly consider that. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Dark. Ms. Jordan, now is your opportunity to address the court. If you wish to, you'll have to unmute yourself, and I'll need to swear you in. Okay, so I'll need for you to get to a place where you can address the court.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down, Ms. Jordan. What would you like to tell the court?
I don't want to press charges against him because he is the father of my kids. And I'm just trying to figure out, I just want him to come home and be here with his kids. I don't want to go through all this.
Okay. Oh, well, the other night you called the police, didn't you?
I did.
Was there a problem that you were calling the police about?
No.
No? Yeah, well, there must have been a problem you were calling the police about, because otherwise the police
I
would
called them because I'm sorry to cut you off. I called them because I didn't know they were going to send an officer out, because I called the ambulance actually because I was going to the hospital because I was in pain already before he came over there, and we just started arguing. We wasn't fighting or nothing, that we were just arguing a lot. I just wanted him to leave, and he left. And that was that.
Ms. Arnold, would you tell me again what the police report says, please?
Yes, Your Honor. It said that the defendant came to the apartment where he began to argue with Ms. Jordan. To get away from him, Ms. Jordan went inside the apartment where the defendant followed her in. Ms. Jordan advised that the defendant then grabbed her and threw her to the ground, causing scratches to her arms and a busted lip. And the children were present at this time. And Ms. Jordan's 9-year-old son told the officers that the defendant was beating his mother, and she was 7 months pregnant at that time.
Okay, Ms. Jordan, you're under oath. You've been sworn in. So what you're telling me is that you did not have a busted lip, and you were not thrown to the ground.
I wasn't thrown to the ground. I didn't have a busted lip. My son was in the room. He wasn't in there when I was arguing with him.
All right. Anything else, Ms. Jordan?
No, I'm ready for him to come home. That's all. Thank you.
All right. Anything further, Ms. Arnold, Mr. Dark?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I would just renew some of my arguments. Of course, I know we've both done this a while. We know how it goes. We know how it can be. Of course, from our perspective, I have found plenty of times that what a victim says after the fact is way more true than what happens in a police report. Officers don't always do a very good job of investigating these when they first get them. They come on the scene, and sometimes they're itching to make arrests, and they make an arrest. I would ask the court to consider the fact that this victim was willing to appear here today, to come before the court, swear and take an oath, understanding, penalty of perjury, and all of the above. And she gave the testimony that she gave, which is contrary to what the police report says, which is definitely not always accurate. And I think we both know that, Your Honor. But respectfully, we would just ask for a signature bond and that the court would allow no violent contact in this particular instance. Nothing further.
All right, so for the 2 battery charges, it's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial. For the 2 cruelty charges, it's going to be $1,000 signature bond through pretrial, which totals a $6,000 signature bond through pretrial. 1 day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Ms. Jordan, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. All right,
Thank
good
you.
luck to you, Mr. Cofield and Ms. Jordan. You're welcome. Who do we have next?
Number 17, Mr. Wilson.
Are you at that? Yes.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I know they're gonna be having trouble trying to hear me.
What was that contact?
Huh?
No further violent contact.
Okay,
This is Mr. Wilson, is that correct?
Yes.
Good afternoon, Mr. Wilson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar. Can you mute courtroom 2, please?
Hey, could you please?
Thank you. Whenever you're ready, Mr. Wilson.
Your Honor, the state is going to request a breakout room for this case as well.
Thank you.
Okay, all right, so let's see. In the future, would you all let me know before I start at the beginning of the calendar when you need a breakout room, so I can just make a note so that I don't start in with the presentation beforehand?
Yes, Your
Okay,
Honor.
thank you. I appreciate it, Ms. Webb. Ms. Webb, Ms. Kim, Ms. Gant, do you want to go in the breakout room?
Well, actually, Honor, to the announcement that you just made, I would also request a breakout for position 10.
Okay, Ms. Falk, Mr. Dark.
Yes, Your Honor. I was just going to say, I actually have a 3 o'clock, and I only have 1 additional client, Anitra Gross. I was going to ask if it was possible I could just do that one. I don't need a breakout or anything. Just argue bond, and I'm done.
Okay, what position is that, Mr. Dark?
Let me see on the calendar.
Position number 8.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you. Thank you.
Position eight.
That's Bridgewater. Courtroom 2. Can you bring up Mr. Gross? Is he in the courtroom with you?
It's a female, Your Honor, Anitra
Oh.
Gross.
Is they talking about court with me?
They normally have, do you have Miss Gross there?
Yes, you're right.
Okay, all right, thank you. And then after this, we'll go into the breakout room.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Ms. Gross. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Gross, you've been charged in case 22 CR 001138Y with battery and criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
What's up first?
All right. Ms. Webb?
Yes, Your Honor. This case actually involves a cross defendant. This incident took place on yesterday at 125 St. Thomas Court, Fairburn, Georgia. Upon arrival of the officers, they were met with Miss Maxine Evans. That's Maxine, M-A-X-I-N-E, Evans, E-V-A-N-S, who was a cross defendant in this case. And she informed the officers that the defendant arrived at her home screaming for her to open the door and to give her her children. At some point, the cross defendant, Miss Evans, pulled a gun and pointed it at Miss Gross. And she alleges this is because Miss Gross charged towards her door. Your Honor. According to the defendant, however, Miss Evans threatened to take the safety off of the gun, and she ducked and charged towards her to defend herself, Your Honor, and her children were in the home at the time. The two did engage in a struggle that resulted in Miss Evans' middle finger sustaining a break in the fracture, Your Honor. For those reasons, the state is recommending a $5,000 signature bond a stay away from the incident location at 125 St. Thomas Court, Fairburn, Georgia. No further contact with Ms. Maxine Evans. We're still investigating the status of the children that are in the home. We're not for sure if these children are shared between the parties, but if so, Your Honor, the state is requesting third-party contact with those children, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and a one-day anger awareness. Your Honor, our office is still conducting that investigation as to what is the genesis of this incident. This case would have otherwise been recommended to the DA's office, but the DA did decline to accept because of that ongoing investigation. And Your Honor, that we just want to note that the cross defendant is being charged and prosecuted for felony aggravated assault for pointing the gun at the defendant. And that is the basis for today's recommendation.
And you recommended a $5,000 signature bond. Is that a $4,000 for the battery and $1,000 for the criminal trespass?
Yes, Your Honor. Excuse me. I apologize for not including my breakdown.
Oh, that's fine. All right, Mr. Dark, I take it you don't have any objection to that.
Your Honor, I don't have any objection to anything that she said. I did just want to note, just to do my due diligence, it sounds very much like the story my client told me. And she appears more like the victim in this particular case. But other than that, on bond, no objection to anything.
Okay, so it's going to be a $4,000 signature bond for the battery, a $1,000 signature bond for the criminal trespass. They're both going to go through pre-trial, a one-day anger awareness class, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Anything
Nothing
further on Ms. Gross?
Nothing further from the state.
All right. Good luck to you, Ms. Gross.
And Your Honor, may I otherwise be excused?
Yes. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you, Your Honor. You have a great one.
Thank you. Okay, so let's go into the breakout room with
individuals who have iPhones, can you please list your name on your phone so we know who you are, so we know how to address you when the person who you need to address. So there's two people on here who has iPhones. If you can change it on your name on there, please, we appreciate it. Thank you, Ms. Poole. Sir, with the iPhone, can you tell me what your name is and I can rename your phone so we know who you're here for? You're on mute.
They put it in the chat.
They did?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, courtroom 2.
Yes, sir.
So for Mr. Wilson, it's gonna be a $3,500 good bond. mental health evaluation and treatment, a stay away from Mount Zion Road, and no further contact with Sybil Wilson, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Oh, okay.
And we were also able to discuss position 10, Miss Maddox. Do you have Miss Maddox there?
Yes.
Okay, can you bring her forward for me?
Judge, also the victims are on the line for Wilson.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. Maddox. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Thank you, Ms. Maddox. You were charged in case 22 CR 001131F with one misdemeanor offense. We have already had a discussion, your counsel and the solicitor and myself regarding your case. And I understand that you're gonna be helped with getting some housing. It's gonna be a $3,000 signature bond through the jail, which means that you'll be able to sign yourself out, and you're to stay away from 695 Holcomb Bridge Road with no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while you're out on bond, okay?
Okay, that was the Cassis food, beer, and spirits, right?
I'm sorry, I say it again?
Food, what, Cassis, that package store, right?
Okay, whatever, 695 Holcomb Bridge Road?
I'm sorry.
Yes,
I'm
right,
hoping
that,
I'm telling the time, okay? Nobody tells me anything.
okay, you know you can't go back there.
Okay.
Okay, good luck to you, ma'am.
So, and sorry, is this me, our charges dropped? Or do I have to go?
No, they're not dropped. You're gonna be able to sign yourself out, but you're gonna have to come back to court when you get a date, okay?
Well, when is that gonna happen? It's happened a little before. I was trying to explain to them before, and they just are ignorant. They just keep charging me. Just,
Okay, Miss
I have to ask
Gantz.
questions if I don't. Nobody tells me what.
May you mute courtroom 2? We've explained to her, I've explained to her, Your Honor, the next step.
Okay, all right.
Sir, I'm trying to help myself.
Okay.
You know what's going on. And nobody wants to help me. I have so many problems because of this shit.
Well, Ms. Maddox, I understand that a social worker has already gone down to speak with you.
Okay, sir. But if I get home, I'll read your cognizance, and I don't have an address right now. So what?
Well, and they're trying to.
How do I even know have we done the court? How do I?
Okay, Ms. Gant, you're gonna have to speak with her after court, okay?
Yes, Ms. Maddox.
Yeah, I'm gonna get something in the mail that I have to show for court, right? Well, I'm not gonna show for court. I'm gonna get it in the mail. I'm homeless. There'll be a beige won't proud of me. But same thing over and over and over again, sir. I have been charged with so many things that I've not done. I'm innocent. I am paying for everybody in my family's mistakes. I am tired of this, sir. I spent 8 months, last year, in jail, Cobb County, for bullshit I didn't even do.
Ms. Maddox, I will give
All
you.
right, so, courtroom 2, thank you. Ms. Gant, I think that I'd feel more comfortable with a social worker going back down at a later time. She seems to be agitated at the present time. Therefore, it's gonna be a $2,500 good bond with another social worker visit. She'll see me back on March 15th if she doesn't get out, and I will reassess at that point in time. I think she's too agitated at the present time, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, did you get that, Ms. Bridgewater? You're on mute, Ms. Bridgewater.
You went from 3,000 to 2,500.
To a $2,500 good bond.
Yes.
With another social worker visit.
Gotcha.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And possibly, if she's still in on March 15th, we can just, hopefully resolve the case maybe so that we can get her some help. Okay, who do we have, courtroom 2?
Number 16 is what?
Judge, don't forget you have the witnesses on for Wilson, and I think you already addressed that person.
Okay, let's see, was that Sybil Wilson that's on the line?
Yes,
Who are you referring to, Ms. Lewis?
I'm referring to Sybil Wilson and Elton. There's his brother and mother on the line. They're up in the corner, right?
All right, so let me see. If Sybil Wilson is on the line, I'll need for you to activate your camera if you would like to speak to the court.
They're both up in the same, there's two in the same camera. There they go.
Maybe, am I missing some? I don't see anyone. Oh, okay, oh, with the left one, I'm sorry. All right, so, Mr. Maxey and Ms. Wilson, if you would unmute yourself for me to be able to hear you.
Can you hear us?
Yes, yes. We addressed Mr. Joe Wilson in a breakout session. He is receiving a surety bond, and he is being requested to get a mental health evaluation. He's also, at this point in time, until that happens, being required to stay away from the Mount Zion Road address and from Miss Sybil Wilson, okay?
Okay, so if when he get out, he has some belongings, some clothes here and stuff, and the police say that we could call them when he wants to come pick it up, and then he could go on his way or whatever he going to.
Yes, he can have a one-time police escort there to retrieve any belongings, but he's going to have a mental health evaluation and treatment while in custody, so it would probably be a little while before he's able to get out of custody. Okay.
Okay, Ma, you got it.
Yes, because he is very unstable and he's dangerous to himself and to others and to me. And I don't want to deal with that anymore. He needs help. I'm too old to continue with him with this. So I'm asking for some mental help for him.
Okay, so that's what the court has ordered, that he get a mental health evaluation and treatment if necessary, okay? And that he's also ordered that he has to stay away from you.
Yes, I don't want him back around me.
Okay, all right, so thank you. I appreciate you all being here.
Thank you.
Okay. Have a good afternoon.
You too.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Lewis. Who do we have in courtroom 2?
Number 16, Ms. White.
Good afternoon, Ms. White. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Ms. White, you've been charged in case 22 CR 001126G with criminal trespass and obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
16 total. Last arrest was back in July for felony obstruction, entering auto with intent to commit theft for a felony. She's on probation for the entering auto, 21 SC 179808. Also on probation for theft by taking, 18 SC 159711. She has history out of Tennessee. May 2021, she was arrested for terroristic threats. 2018, simple assault, simple battery arrest. 2018, theft by taking. 2017, simple battery, felony obstruction, and resisting officer in a penal institution. 2017, probation violation, trespass conviction. 2016, felony theft by receiving, 2 counts. You want more?
That's fine, thank you. Ms. Webb?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident took place on yesterday at the Blimpie Express in Sitco, located at 3657
Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, Atlanta. APD responded to a trespass call that actually that same responding officer issued the defendant a trespass warning previously and told her not to go back to the store on February 1st of this year, just a month ago. When the officer placed her under arrest, she attempted to get up and run and held on. And when he caught her, she held on to the handcuffs and had to be threatened with a taser to be placed under arrest. Your Honor, for those reasons, the state is recommending a $1,000 surety bond, a stay away from that incident location, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. The basis for that recommendation is that we do believe she has a high risk of reoffending. The defendant actually told the officer, or allegedly told the officer rather, that when she gets out of jail tomorrow, that she's going to return back to that location. The defendant does have those trespass convictions, as you've heard, from pretrial from 2017 out of Fulton County. The state just has zero confidence that she will follow any order entered by the court if she is released on a signature bond, Your Honor. And she currently has an active warrant out of Clarksville.
Is that $500 per charge?
Yes, Your Honor. Excuse me, Your Honor. It's $1,000. It's $1,000 surety for the trespass and $1,500 surety for the obstruction. Excuse me, I am wrong. No, I'm correct. Sorry.
Okay.
That's correct.
All right. Thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Ms. White is 27 years old, and actually I was able to talk to her godmother about how she's doing. She's been here in Georgia for 13 years, and she has a job. She makes an earning by commission. She says that she went to Louisiana Architecture School. She studied engineering there, and she does not want to have any kind of social worker services. She would like to get signature bond for her criminal trespass, and we would like to request for signature bond as well. She's willing to stay away from that Citgo gas station, no problem whatsoever. And that's it, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, so it's going to be a $500 good bond on each charge, $1,000 good bond. Stay away from the Citgo, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. White.
Okay. Number 15, Mr. Turner is next.
Good afternoon. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Turner, you've been charged in case 22 CR 001125J with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
15 total. Last arrest was 2020, 3 counts of failure to appear. 2019 probation violation, obstruction. Another 2019 probation violation. 2019 FTA for DUI. 2018 shoplifting conviction. 2017 crossing state county guard lines with drugs or weapons without consent. He got first offender for that. The 2017 simple battery, obstruction, possession of marijuana, possession of a Schedule 4 controlled substance. He got first offender for that. That's it.
Ms. Webb?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident took place on November the 4th, 2021, and where the City of South Fulton Police Department responded to a dispute call at 1475 Sand Bay Drive, Southwest, 7301, Atlanta. Upon arrival, Officer Keys was met with the defendant's sister, Miss Antonia Holmes. That's Antonia, ANTONIA Holmes, HOLMES. And she informed the officers that her and her brother had a dispute over a misplaced vape pen. She stated that Mr. Turner became upset with her when he could not find his vape pen, And she informed the officer that they began to argue. And at some point, he pushed her in the face and began to throw her around the room. And during that tussle, Mr. Turner managed to pull out her hair from the scalp. Your Honor, for those reasons, the state is recommending a $4,000 surety, no further contact with Ms. Antonia Holmes, stay away from that incident location at 1475 Sand Bay Drive, 1 day anger awareness, and no alcohol, drugs, or awareness. We are making this recommendation because we do believe there is a risk of reoffending. Upon running Mr. Turner and Ms. Holmes' names, the officer did receive a hit back from dispatch that there were previous incidents from that address with the same parties from June 2019 and June 2021, Your Honor. We do know that siblings argue, but when it results to violence in the home and the defendant is exerting that much violence against his sister to the point that he's pulling out her hair so hard that he's uprooting it from her scalp, the state is concerned for witness intimidation, as well as that can encourage her not to want to participate in the prosecution process because she may be fearful of her brother, Your Honor. And we do believe that he is a possible flight risk, as you've heard from pretrial. He does have that FTA on the 2013 Fairburn case. FTA was issued in 2019 and 2020 out of Fulton County, Your Honor. Those are the basis for the today's recommendation.
Has your office spoken with Ms. Holmes?
Your Honor, I believe we attempted contact but was unsuccessful, but let me double check to see if there's any updates since earlier today.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Actually, about June 5, 2019, when they were talking about another incident at 1475 Sand Bay Drive. Actually, my client, he says that he was incarcerated at Clayton County from March 2019 to March 2020. That was the main reason that he had to have those failure to appear. He could not appear because he was incarcerated. And he got out of the jail from Clayton County. He spent almost exactly 1 year there. He has been here in Georgia 28 years. He has 2 children, 4 and 8 years old, and he has parents. And he also works as a car wash. He works car services for last 6 months. Even though he didn't have college education, he completed GED while he was at jail. So we believe that something is not really correct because he was in jail and he was accused of attacking Ms. Antonia Holmes when he was in jail. So there's got to be some kind of misunderstanding right there. So he denies all the allegations. We would like to request for signature bond for his case. He does not have much money at this point because of his long-term incarceration. So we would like to request for signature bond. Thank you.
Does he have any reason to go back to that Sand Bay Drive address?
They live there, Your Honor. And Antonia Holmes does not live there.
And have you spoken with Ms. Holmes?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so you only know that she doesn't live there through your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, anything further, Ms. Webb?
Nothing further. And just to update the court, we were not able to make contact with Ms. Holmes.
All right, so it's going to be a $5,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Antonia Holmes. He can go back to 1475 Sand Bay Drive, but only if Ms. Holmes is not there. If Ms. Holmes is there, then he cannot return there. He can have a one-time escort to retrieve any belongings. No drugs, no alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Turner.
All right, thank you. Number 2, Mr. Colbert. So you get. I'll sit down.
Good afternoon, Mr. Colbert. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Colbert, you've been charged in case 22 CR 001132Y with simple battery, family violence, and willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
This is 8th arrest. Last arrest was in 1995. Domestic violence, aggravated menacing out of Ohio. You want the other 90s arrests, or you good?
No, that's fine. Thank you. Ms. Arnold?
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. The current bond right now in this case is a $1,500 surety for count 2 for the obstruction. So we're asking that remain, and we're asking for a $3,000 surety for count 1 for the simple battery for a total of a $4,500 surety. Your Honor, this incident happened on February 28th of this year at 4485 Granda Drive in Atlanta. Granda spelled Granda, Drive in Atlanta. Your Honor, we're also asking that there be no further contact with Ms. Jada Dillard, Jada, Dillard spelled Dillard. We're asking for a stay away from the Granada Drive location, a one-day anger awareness, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Your Honor, upon arrival, officers observed the defendant push Ms. Dillard out of the residence. Officers were initially called by Ms. Dillard because she alleged that the defendant was holding her stepmom and sister against their will. When police announced themselves at the front door of the residence, they knocked several times but received no answer. The responding officer requested supervision of the residents. The supervision was able to, the officers who were there to supervise were able to get the defendant to open the door. When officers spoke with the stepmom, Miss Adrienne Colbert, Adrienne spelled Adrienne, Colbert spelled Colbert. She told officers that there was a verbal dispute. However, she said that she was not being held against her will and that there wasn't a physical altercation. Your Honor, based on the facts of this case, we are asking for that $4,500 surety. I do understand that the arrests are from the 90s, but they are still violent arrests, Your Honor. From 92, he had 2 counts of assault and resisting arrest. In 95, he had a domestic violence by assault. And then again in 95, he had a domestic violence and aggravated menacing. So Your Honor, we are asking for the $4,500 surety with the conditions as stated.
Thank you. Have you spoken with Ms. Dillard or Ms. Colbert?
We did try to call, but we had to leave a message, Your Honor, sir, not at this time.
Thank you. Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Richard Colbert is 49 years old. He has been in the Atlanta area for 7 years, along with his wife, Miss Adrienne Colbert. He has 3 children, ages 14, 19, and 25. The 25-year-old is the complaining witness, Jada Dillard. In this case, Your Honor, we are opposed to the stay away at 4485, and my client informs me that the spelling is Granada Drive, Atlanta, Georgia. That is the family home. I was able to speak with Ms. Adrienne Colbert along with Jada Dillard. They both want Mr. Colbert back in the home. We would ask instead for a no violent contact order with Jada Dillard. Mr. Colbert has completed college. Let me back up. He completed 3 years of business school. He has been a boxing coach for 7 years. He is a registered USA boxer. He is also a personal trainer. He denies the allegations, Your Honor. He denies pushing Ms. Dillard. He also states that he did not hear the police and wasn't aware that the police were called. I acknowledge my client's history. However, it's very long time ago, and I believe it's too remote for this court to consider. And therefore, Your Honor, I am requesting a signature bond on Mr. Colbert's behalf. Thank you.
For the simple battery, to be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial. For the obstruction, a $1,000 signature bond through pretrial, totaling a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial. One-day anger awareness class. No further violent contact with Jada Dillard. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Colbert.
Thank you.
Next we have position 3 and 4, Mr. Coleman.
Good afternoon, Mr. Coleman. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Coleman, you've been charged in case 22 CR 001133E with criminal trespass and in case 22 CR 001134Y with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
19 total between Georgia, Connecticut, Illinois, and Arkansas. I'm gonna start at last arrest was on the 2nd of February, failure to appear out of Coweta County, possession of meth, obstruction, giving false name, misdemeanor possession of marijuana. He's out on pretrial, $4,000 bond. It was given by Judge Mincy. It was a simple battery, I think. Victim in that case was a Christina Caldwell. Let's see, 2015 arrest out of Arkansas for shoplifting. Got a 2019 battery conviction out of Illinois. As far as Georgia, 2021 simple battery family violence arrest. Possession of a Schedule I controlled substance, possession of a firearm or knife during the commission. That was from 2021 May out of Noonan. That was dismissed. So he got the open case through pretrial. That's it. And the Illinois conviction.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Howard. Ms. Arnold?
Yes, Your Honor. So for position number 3, Your Honor, for the criminal trespass, the state is requesting a $2,500 surety, no further contact with Christina Caldwell, spelled traditionally, a stay away from 130 Grayfield Lane in Atlanta, Grayfield spelled GREYFIELD, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Your Honor, this incident happened on February 19th of this year at the Grayfield Lane location. The defendant kicked in Ms. Caldwell's front door, causing it to be completely detached from the door frame. Officers said in the report that they must note that they have had extensive history with this couple involving domestic violence and that they have one young son together. Your Honor, for position number 4, we are requesting a $3,500 surety for the criminal trespass, no further contact with Christina Caldwell, and again, a stay away from the Grayfield Lane location, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Your Honor, this incident happened on February 23rd of this year at the Grayfield location. Ms. Caldwell advised that at this time she was on the bed with her boyfriend when the defendant came into the room and started to fight her boyfriend. When officers arrived, both the defendant and the boyfriend were gone, but officers were able to see fresh blood on the walls and on the floor of Ms. Caldwell's room. Officers also, upon investigation, observed a chair below the outside window of Ms. Caldwell's child's room with a footprint on it. So they thought it was important to make mention of that in the report as well. Your Honor, we do believe that the defendant will reoffend as he is a multi-state offender. In 2018, he had arrests out of Connecticut for disorderly conduct, criminal impersonation, and interfering and resisting arrest. In 2019, he was arrested out of Illinois for battery, physical contact, assault, and resisting a peace officer. In 2021, out of Gwinnett for simple battery, family violence. And then in October of 2021, out of Sandy Springs for criminal trespass as well. And then he had a conviction in 2019 out of Illinois for resisting a peace officer. Your Honor, in addition, we do believe that open case, as pretrial has mentioned, I believe he said it was with Ms. Caldwell as well. That is the same victim. So also going to the idea that the defendant will reoffend, and especially with Ms. Caldwell. Further, Your Honor, we believe that the defendant will be a flight risk as he does have a recent FTA from February 2nd of this year. So we are requesting for position 3, the $2,500 surety bond, and position 4, the $3,500 surety bond with the conditions as stated.
Do you know the conditions of the simple battery family violence that's opened, Miss Arnold?
I do not, but I can try and look it up, but it is from.
Do you know Mr. Howard?
I can't see the bond order. I just knew it was the same victim from the last warrant. But yeah, it's not the bond order not on there for some reason.
Okay. If you can try to find me that bond order, Miss Arnold, if possible.
Okay, I'll do my best while defense goes.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Based on my research, that charge in October 2021 was for criminal trespass, family violence, for which he received a $4,000 pretrial release bond. I was unable to find a disposition along with the bond order. So we'll start there. Mr. Coleman is 26 years old. He has been in the Atlanta area for 1 year. In 5 months, he has family here, including a son. It's 2 years old. We are unopposed to the stay away at 1301. He no longer lives there. However, we are requesting a one-time law enforcement escort because he does still have some belongings there. Mr. Coleman obtained a bachelor's degree. He also played collegiate football at the University of Arkansas. He has been employed at FedEx for many years as a shift manager. In fact, he's due back to work today. He's anxious to get back to work so that he will not lose his job. Regarding the allegations, Your Honor, he states that the door had been broken and that Ms. Coleman has a history of calling the police on him after learning that he, in fact, has moved on to date someone else. He states that she has called the police on him many times. We heard that from the state. However, what's interesting about the facts here is that the allegation is that there's blood splatter with the footprint. However, my client was not charged with any vicious crimes, Your Honor. These are criminal trespass, family violence charges. We do not take these allegations lightly. Again, my client denies these allegations, and we heard a lot about his arrest, but we did not hear a lot about convictions for violence. Furthermore, with regard to the criminal trespass with the same victim who, according to my client, has a history of drumming up these false allegations, he is presumed innocent in that case. Therefore, Your Honor, I am requesting a signature bond, and if Your Honor determines that he is ineligible, then a bond of no more than $500 for each count for a total of $1,000. Again, we are unopposed to the no further contact and stay away orders, but we would ask for a third-party transfer, and again, that one-time law enforcement escort. Thank you.
And Your Honor, we were able to find that it was a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial signed by Judge Mincy with the conditions of a one-day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Christina Coleman, a stay away from the Grayfield Lane location, no weapons, drug, or alcohol. And Your Honor, we are asking or want to know if pretrial is going to revoke the bond for that case. Okay.
So that was my concern, and that's why I wanted to hear the bond. Mr. Coleman, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. Ms. Gant, do you want to instruct him, or do you need to speak with him before I
would at this time remind you that anything you say can and will be used against you, and I would advise you to remain silent. Let's hear the judge's ruling, and I'm certainly happy to speak with you after this proceeding. Thank you.
So don't talk or talk. All right, so it's good.
All right, so that's why I wanted to hear the bond order that was issued on the previous order. Mr. Coleman, if you had stayed away from the Grayfield Lane address as you had been instructed to on a previous bond, you would not be back in this situation. You know,
the judge changed it. They made it a state. She changed it from a stay away because we live that's actually my crib. That's my house. She changed it from a stay away to a non-violent contact. Like this, like, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like I'm steady getting penalized, like for the, like, you feel me, for like retarded stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like even Sandy Springs police, they come out there, like I get no charges. Like she literally calls the police when she don't get her way. Like if I'm gonna leave and I don't tell her where I'm going, we get in an argument. Like, you know what I'm saying? Our door been broke. Like, I need to get paperwork.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Coleman, Ms. Arnold, do you have that bond in front of you?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, would you read the conditions for me?
It was a one-day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Christina Coleman, a stay away from 1301 Grayfield Lane in Sandy Springs, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol.
Okay, and it does not appear that that's been modified?
As far as we know, no, Your Honor.
Okay, so that's the only thing I have to go on, Mr. Coleman, is that there was a stay away from that location. Well, there's certainly going to be a stay away from the location and a no further contact at this point in time. It's going to be a $2,000 good bond at each charge, so making a total of $4,000 good bond. No further contact with Ms. Caldwell. No contact means no contact whatsoever. No phone contact, no personal contact, no Twitter contact, no social media contact, no contact whatsoever. So that should relieve any issues that you have regarding Ms. Caldwell. I understand that you have children with Ms. Caldwell. I'm not going to keep you from your children. You can have a third-party visitation or third-party contact, so that you can't have any contact with Ms. Caldwell, but you can go through a third party to see your children. No drugs, no alcohol, no or weapons while out on bond. All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Coleman.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Let me see my son. All right, that's all I care about.
All right, number 7, Mr. Fears.
Good afternoon, Mr. Fears. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Fears. You've been charged in case 22 CR 001136E with criminal trespass and possession of marijuana less than an ounce. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
53 total. He has several FTAs in his history. Last arrest was back in May. Criminal trespass out of DeKalb County. June 2019 shoplifting. 2017 FTA shoplifting. Criminal trespass from 2016 conviction. 2016 FTA trespass. 2016 trespass conviction. 2015 trespass conviction. See where I'm going?
I got it. Thank you, Mr. Howard. Ms. Arnold?
Yes, Your Honor. The current bond is a $1,000 surety for count 1 for the criminal trespass. Excuse me. And for count 2, it's also a $1,000 surety for a total of a $2,000 surety bond. Your Honor, we're asking that the bond would remain and that there be a stay away from all MARTA, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Your Honor, this incident happened on February 28th of this year at the H.E. Holmes MARTA station. The defendant's Breeze card was checked and it showed that he had not paid to ride the train since February 27th of 2022. The defendant was given an opportunity to pay, but did not, and instead went to another train car at the station. The defendant at that time was given a criminal trespass warning to leave the location, but returned soon after. On a search incident to arrest, a green leafy substance in a clear bag suspected to be marijuana was found on the defendant. Your Honor, as pretrial has mentioned, the defendant has 53 cycles, so I won't go through them all, but I just want to make note that we do believe the defendant will reoffend, as he has 7 criminal trespass convictions, a 2013 criminal trespass where he pled nolo. And then in 2016, he was convicted of a battery of a certain type as well as a criminal trespass. And then he has FTAs from 2013, 2016, 2017. And he was also arrested again in May of last year for a criminal trespass. Your Honor, so we are very concerned that the defendant will reoffend, and we do believe he is a flight risk based on the fact that he has multiple FTAs. So for these reasons, we are requesting that the bond would remain with the conditions as stated.
Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Fears is 56 years old. At this time, he is residentially challenged, Your Honor. However, he does from time to time stay with his brother, and he has a valid mailing address. He has been in the Atlanta area his entire life. He is the proud father of 2 children, ages 30 and 31. We are opposed to the stay away unless there's an active suspension in place from MARTA. He states that he uses MARTA needs to use MARTA to travel to and from work when he is able to work. He completed 12th grade. He has been working in H&S construction for the past 30 to 40 years. However, and Your Honor, that is a family business. However, he states that because of the weather, he has not been working. Therefore, he does not have the means to pay bond. Your Honor, these are non-violent offenses. He disputes the allegations. He states that the gate was open and he thought that they were letting people in. So therefore, Your Honor, I am requesting a signature bond on Mr. Fear's behalf. And again, we are opposed to the stay away, and he's anxious to defend against these allegations. Thank you.
Do they often open the gates and let people in, Ms. Gant?
Your Honor, that is my client's position.
Okay. It's gonna be $1,000 signature bond through the jail for the criminal trespass, and a $500 signature bond through the jail for the marijuana less than an ounce, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, and stay away from MARTA if there is an active suspension. All right, I'm gonna let you out, Mr. Fears, but you're gonna have to show back up to address these charges on your court date, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, good luck
Thank
to you,
you, Your
sir.
Honor.
Number 11, Mr. Payne's next.
I'm sorry, who do we have courtroom two?
Mr. Payne. Good afternoon, court.
Good afternoon, Mr. Payne. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Payne. You've been charged in case 22 CR 001139B with theft by taking. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
23 total between Georgia and Tennessee. Last arrest was 2019, theft by taking conviction. 2019 financial transaction card theft not presented to grand jury. 2018 theft by taking dismissed. 2013 criminal damage to property second degree arrest. 2010 terrorist threats dismissed. DUI and suspended license dismissed from 2009. Last arrest in Tennessee was in 2002. That's it.
All right. Ms. Arnold?
Yes, Your Honor. The state is requesting a $2,500 surety for the theft by taking. No further contact with Alem Worku, spelled ALEM, Worku, spelled WORKU. We're asking from a stay away from 3550 Martin Luther King Jr. Drive in Atlanta, which is the Quick Trip, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Your Honor, this incident happened on February 28th of this year at the Quick Trip location. Mr. Worku, who works at the Quick Trip and is the victim in this case, advised that the defendant came into the store, and at this point, when he came in, Mr. Worku had his phone charging by the register. Mr. Worku at some point noticed that his phone was missing and went to check the video surveillance from the store and observed the defendant grab his phone from the countertop. When officers arrived, the defendant was still at the location, and he uttered to officers that he did take the phone, but he had sold it to a random person in the parking lot. Your Honor, we do believe that the defendant will reoffend based on the fact that he was arrested out of Clayton County in 2018 for 2 counts of theft by taking. He also had an arrest in 2002 out of Tennessee for driving under the influence, theft of property, $500 or less, driving while licensed suspended, revoked, or canceled, reckless driving, And then he has the 2019 conviction for theft by taking. So for these reasons, Your Honor, we are requesting the $2,500 surety bond with the conditions as stated.
Thank you, Ms. Arnold. Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Cecil Payne is 62 years old. He has been in the Atlanta area since 2001. He has children here, a daughter, and also 2 grandkids, ages 1 and 5. Your Honor, we are unopposed to the stay away. Mr. Payne understands that he needs to stay away from 3550 MLK Drive. He completed high school. He has been unemployed since summer of 2021. Prior to that, he was working at Ray's on River. However, he stopped working there because of the pandemic, and then he later was injured. He sustained an injury to a fracture to his mandible, and he also has a back injury, which really is limiting his ability to return to work. He has a doctor's appointment on Friday. Therefore, he certainly needs to be released so that he can make that appointment. He does not have the means to pay bond at this time. And while I acknowledge my client's history, 2018, 2019 those offenses are rather remote, and I would ask that Your Honor not consider any driving or traffic offenses. I am requesting a signature bond, and again, we're unopposed to the no contact and stay away orders. Thank you.
All right, the $3,000 signature bond through the jail, stay away from the Quick Trip on MLK Drive, no further contact with Mr. Warku, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Mr. Payne, I'm gonna let you out, but you're gonna have to show back up and answer for the charges on your new court date, okay?
All right, Your Honor. Thank you.
Good luck to you, sir.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
14, Mr. Russell.
Good afternoon, Mr. Russell. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Russell, you've been charged in case 22 CR 001128G with theft of service. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Resident of New York. Has history out of New York. Last arrest was May 2021, assault 3rd degree and harassment. Before that was 2016, possession of a forged instrument, scheme to defraud 2nd degree, larceny 4th degree. The possession of a forged instrument was a conviction. 2016, identity theft, scheme to defraud 2nd degree. Forged instrument was a conviction. Got a 2015 reckless endangerment, fleeing an officer, operating motor vehicle while impaired by drugs, criminal possession of marijuana 5th degree, failure to obey. The driving while impaired was a conviction. All I have is a New York history, and this is first Georgia arrest.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Howard. Ms. Webb?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident took place on yesterday evening around 10 p.m. at the Twin Peaks in Buckhead. Atlanta police responded to a theft of services call, and upon arrival, they were met with the management who informed the officer that the defendant attempted to pay for food and drinks with various credit cards, and they all declined. The officer noted that those cards did return back as stolen or fraudulent, and the value of the services was $218.63. For those reasons, the state is recommending a $2,500 surety bond, a stay away from the Twin Peaks and Buckhead located at 3365 Piedmont Road, Northeast Atlanta, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Your Honor, we are making this recommendation because we do believe there's a high risk of reoffending. As you've heard from pretrial, the defendant's criminal history stems from crimes of theft or dishonesty, and the state believes that he has a high risk of offending other businesses while he is here in Georgia. Additionally, Your Honor, we do not believe he has sufficient ties to the community. As you've heard from pretrial, he is a New York resident, and most of his history does stem out of New York, and we are not confident that he will return back to court. Those are the reasons for today's recommendation.
Thank you, Ms. Webb. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Mr. Russell is 26 years old and he resides in New York. Actually, he came here about two or 3 days ago just to travel by. Even though he does not have a permanent residency here in Georgia, he has a brother and sister here in Georgia. And he works as a recording studio. He has his own business to do recording studio at Brooklyn, New York. He's been doing that for 7 years, and he graduated from high school in New York. And we would like to request for signature bond. However, if your honor is not inclined to give signature bond, we would like to request for no more than $1,000 surety bond, your honor.
All right, it's gonna be $1,000 good bond. Stay away from Twin Peaks and the Piedmont Road address. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Russell.
Thank you.
Thank you, your honor.
You're welcome.
All right, now add on Mr. Bimawala.
Yeah. Who do we have?
Add on one, Mr. Bimawala.
All right, we're gonna need a breakout room for Mr. Vimawama. It's up to you, courtroom two. Do you want to take him last, or do you want me to take him now?
All right, take him now.
Take him now?
Your honor, his brother is here. His brother would like to know if he can join the breakout room. And we would like to ask you, because it's
Okay,
your.
that's fine. That's fine with me. Thank you, Ms. Kim. So,
Thank you.
if you'll put Ms. Falk, Ms. Kim, Mr. Vimawama, and anyone else, Ms. Falk?
No, Your Honor.
No? Okay, in the break. In the
Does
breakout.
anybody have an add-on sheet?
I do, and I actually have the history if Your Honor wants me to go over the history in the breakout, or I can do it here.
Can you send me the add-on sheet, please?
Tucson, check your email. I did send the counter out. The add-on. Miss Poole, who are you here for? You're on mute. You have to unmute yourself.
Gregory Poole.
Okay. I don't think we reached him yet. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we've had a discussion, courtroom 2 is gonna be a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial. Stay away from the Old Ivy Road address, no further contact with Catherine Morris, MRUS, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, sir.
Number 12, Mr. Poole.
And the victim is online for this judge.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Poole. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Mr. Poole, you've been charged in case 22 CR 001140D with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
18 total. History out of Florida and Illinois. Last arrest was 2016 in Georgia. Driving without a valid license. Last arrest in Florida was in 95. Last arrest in Illinois was in 2008. Suspended license operating uninsured motor vehicle. I don't recall seeing any violence. If it is, it's like real old.
Okay, thank you,
That's
Mr.
it.
Howard. Ms. Arnold?
Yes, Your Honor, the state is requesting a $2,500 surety bond for the simple battery family violence. No further contact with Paula Poole, Paula spelled traditionally, Poole spelled Poole, 1 day anger awareness, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Your Honor, this incident happened on February 28th of this year at 3427 Lathan View Court. Lathan spelled Lathen View Court. Ms. Poole advised that she and her husband, the defendant, were at that address to do a cleaning job where they were going to clean the carpet. While they were there, they got into a verbal dispute when Ms. Poole accused the defendant of cheating. Ms. Poole advised that they have had arguments in the past, but this one was different because the defendant put his hands on her, meaning he grabbed her left arm and shook it. Ms. Poole advised that she has blood or had blood clots in her arm, so it was more painful than it should have been. The defendant, when police arrived, admitted that he had reached his limit, and he admitted that he did in fact grab Ms. Poole's arm. Ms. Poole advised our advocate that she was not the one to actually call the police, but there were some neighborhood kids getting off the bus that saw the altercation, and they are the ones that called the police. Our victim, Ms. Poole, stated that she and the defendant have been married for 20 years, and they have 9 children together. The incident location, again, was where they were cleaning a home. And she stated that the defendant became very, very angry and began yelling very loudly at her. And she did express to him that he was hurting her arm. She did state that she's not afraid of the defendant, but she does want him to be held accountable. And she does believe that he does need anger management classes. And so she is on the Zoom call, Your Honor. So when you're ready to sound for her, you can. Your Honor, we are asking for that $2,500 surety based on the fact that the defendant is a multi-state offender, and he has convictions from 2002 for aggravated financial identity theft, aggravated identity theft for age 60 plus, counterfeiting credit cards, and forgery. He also has a 2002 conviction out of Illinois for aggravated and unlawful use of a weapon / vehicle. And then a 1984 conviction out of Illinois for carrying a possession of firearm in public. He did have one older charge from Florida for a burglary with an assault or battery. Your Honor, so for these reasons, we are requesting that the bond be the $2,500 surety with the conditions as stated.
Okay, Ms. Kim? You're on mute, Ms. Kim.
Sorry about that. Mr. Poole is 57 years old, and he has been here in Georgia for 11 years. As he said, there's a minor child he still has. His son is 15 years old, and also they have 20 grandchildren, and yet one of them, actually, Mr. Poole and Mrs. Poole are raising as their own son. He is 8 years old, so 2 minor children they are supporting. And he's been doing this carpet cleaning job for 25 years. This is family business, husband and wife business. So if the court says no further contact with Ms. Poole, that means he cannot work. So this is going to be very detrimental to his business as well. And he served all those, the charges were from 1984, almost like 30, 40 years ago. And that is just too remote to even bring up here. And I believe that he does not have any violence history. This is simple battery. This is his first time offense. So even pretrial service recommended for signature bond. So we would like to ask for signature bond, Your Honor. Thank you.
Ms. Poole, if you'd like to address the court, I'll need for you to raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, Ms. Poole. What would you like to tell the court?
Well, I would like to say, I didn't say I want no contact because we live together. He's not violent. To me, that was something that usually never, ever happens. So we work together and we can't work without one another. He runs the machines, what I don't know how to run. That was something that we've never, ever done at any customer's house. Like he said, I guess he said he was fed up from whatever I was saying, but he is really a really good person. And like she said, that those are like 30 to 40 years old. But since we've been here and together, we just been working hard, but there was just some issues and we got heated up at the very end of parking, which I thought we squashed, but we didn't. And when he went, he came and he round to my side and then he was rubbing my arm. And I didn't tell him that my arm was already sore for the last couple of weeks because of the blood clots that was clearing up. So, and that's what made me scream at him and saying, "You're hurting me." And then when I was trying to show it to him, he stopped and then he went inside the place to finish doing our carpet, because we do carpet, air ducts, and upholsteries. And we've been doing that together for about 20 years. And he was doing it 5 years before, excuse me, before he met me. So he has not been in trouble. Those are licensed because he wants to drive when I can't drive. And that's the biggest part that I do. I drive him to all the locations, but we work mainly together. So I don't want him to, I want to know violent, whatever they said, but no contact, no. He's very good with the children. As a matter of fact, he's the favorite one of all 9 and 20 grandchildren. So he's really, really good. And we have 6 daughters, and the daughters would never tolerate, they'll tell you himself, he's not a violent person at all.
All right, thank you, Ms. Poole. Anything further, counsel?
No, Your Honor. No, Your
All
Honor.
right, a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness class, no further violent contact with Paula Poole, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Poole.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, lawyers.
Oh, man. Got number 13, Mr. Redan.
Good afternoon, Mr. Reed. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 001124A with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
6 total. Last arrest was February 2020 for simple battery. Family violence. I see a 2015 robbery by sudden snatch conviction. This was out of Florida. obstructing justice conviction with that arrest. 2017 grand theft third degree felony conviction. 2017 probation violation out of Florida. That's all.
The February 2020, is that open?
That was dismissed.
Dismissed?
I'll look it up. I'm not sure.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Webb?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident took place on yesterday, early hours around 4 a.m. The facts as alleged are that Officer Goodwin with the Sandy Springs Police Department witnessed an altercation that gave rise to the defendant's arrest. According to Officer Goodwin, he observed the defendant push his boyfriend, Mr. Dextra Davis, that's Dextra, Dextra Davis, at the entryway of the property's parking garage. The officer noted that when he spoke to the parties, he saw a knot on Mr. Davis's head and blood on his clothing, but he told him that he simply just slipped and fell. Your Honor, the state is recommending a $2,500 surety, a stay away from the incident location at 6125 Roswell Road, Sandy Springs, Georgia. No further contact with Mr. Dextra, or perhaps it's Dexter Davis, 1 day anger awareness, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. Your Honor, the state is concerned with witness intimidation. As we know, victims who are subjected to cyclical abuse often defend and protect their offenders. We did get a chance to speak with Mr. Davis, and he informed our office that the parties are currently in a relationship and live together, and that the officer did not witness the altercation, but that one of the parties called the police. And Your Honor, that lets us know that if someone called the police, then that is an indication that intervention was needed by law enforcement. Additionally, Your Honor, we do believe there's a risk of reoffending, as the defendant does have a history of violence, albeit the defendant's history does stem largely from Florida. The one Georgia case that he has from Johns Creek in 2020 is a case where the defendant struck the victim in that case several times in the face over a dispute regarding a cell phone. Those are the reasons for today's recommendation, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Webb. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Redden is 27 years old, and actually, Mr. Redden is the one who called the police because he wanted to leave. He wanted to get help to leave the place. He wanted to get out, but Mr. Davis did not want him to go. So there was a little bit of, I guess, misunderstanding. So he does not understand. My client doesn't understand why he is the one who was arrested for something that he didn't do anything wrong. So we would like to request for signature bond on this. He has been here in Georgia for 2 years, and he works at warehouse as a forklift driver. And he also takes classes online to get the associate degree for business administration. And we request for signature bond. Thank you.
All right, I see Mr. Davis on the line. Mr. Davis, if you would like to address the court, I'll need for you to unmute yourself and raise your right hand for me. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you can put your hand down. What would you like to tell the court, sir?
Well, the incident, looking at the police report, is actually incorrect. There was never a physical altercation between Mr. Redden and I. Yes, we are in a relationship, and he does live here, and he pays half of the bill. So I don't need a no stay or no contact order because he actually lives here. It was basically just a misunderstanding because he actually had my cell phone, and I was standing behind his car, so he could not leave. There was nothing ever physical. The only thing was he had my cell phone, so I would not let him leave by standing behind his car. But he actually made it to we were in the parking garage. He actually went to a different level of the parking garage, went upstairs and put my phone by the apartment door, which I was unaware of. And he told that to police officers when he got there. Now, what the officer was stating about he witnessed an altercation between he and I, that's definitely not true, because at the garage door, the door is actually metal. So there's no way that an officer can actually see through the door and see us, because that's where we were standing until I opened the door, which is actually stated in the police report as well. So there's no reason for any of this. This is really just a big misunderstanding, in my opinion. because I was there. I'm not trying to advocate for him if I'm not telling the truth. I'm asking that, you know, no charges be brought against him, everything be dropped. So he just got a new job, as Ms. Kim stated. He's working, he's only been there a week, and he's missed 2 days this week, which was yesterday and today, because of this misunderstanding.
Okay, you're not afraid of him?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Like I stated, Your Honor, this is really just a huge, big misunderstanding. So I'm not afraid of him. He's not afraid of me. We're together. I mean, I don't, he's confused just as well as I'm confused why he was actually arrested, to be honest.
All right, thank you, sir.
You're
Anything
welcome.
further, counsel?
No, Your Honor.
All
Your Honor, we just want to state that if there is a discrepancy as to what happens, our office is continuing to conduct an investigation to retrieve body cam footage, dash cam footage, or anything that may have captured what the officer recorded in that report, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Ms. Webb. It's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. No further violent contact with Mr. Davis. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Ray.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We got number 18, Mr. Young.
You said 2,000?
Yes. Good afternoon, Mr. Young. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Young, you've been charged in case 22 CR 001129C with simple battery. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
18 total. Last arrest was 2017, probation violation of family violence protective order. The disposition was not prosecuted. Violation of family violence protection order was dismissed in 2018. Got a battery family violence cruelty in the first dismissed. That was non-pros from 2011. Before that was 02 failure to appear conviction for reckless driving. Everything else is from the 90s.
Ms. Webb?
Yes, Your Honor, this case took place on July 2nd of 2021, where Atlanta Police Department responded to a domestic dispute between the defendant and his daughter, Adunde Reese, that is Adunde, Anunde Reese, Reese. When Miss Reese and her mother returned to the home, the defendant yelled at her and told her not to come through his threshold if she wasn't going to apologize. She told him that she was not going to apologize because she didn't do anything wrong. And this was in regards to a dispute that the parties had earlier. The victim, Miss Reese, was leaning on her dad's pickup truck while the two were engaging in a shouting match at the home. And as she was leaning, the defendant placed the car in reverse. And as Ms. Reese noted to the officer, Your Honor, merely running her over. He backed the truck to the end of the driveway and told her to get the F out of his property and that he was going to slap the S out of her. He then walked up to her and slapped her hand. And as she noted, he slapped her hand so hard that it broke the Honda car key that she was holding at the time, Your Honor. For those reasons, the state is recommending a $3,000 surety bond. No further contact with Ms. Adunde Reese. Stay away from the incident location at 705 James Madison Drive, Southwest Atlanta, Georgia. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and a one-day anger awareness. Your Honor, we are concerned with the risk of reoffending, as you heard from pretrial, for those arrests out of Fulton County for violating a family order, albeit those charges were later dismissed. Your Honor, in addition to our victim advocate did get an opportunity to speak to the daughter in this case. She did advise our office that they do not live together and that she does not fear her father, but we want to keep in mind that considering the violent nature of this incident, the fact that he would reverse his car knowing that his daughter is standing right there on there, and as noted, merely running her over, we are asking for that surety bond today, and plus considering the defendant's history, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Kim.
Yes, Mr. Young is 54 years old. He was born and raised here. He is like completely Atlanta-born resident. And respectfully, he is also Veterans Affairs. He's a VA. He served for the country for more than 10 years. And he's also disabled as well. This one is long time ago. It happened about like 7 months ago, and everybody is moved on. Daughter's here, wife is here in the Zoom hearing, and they all say that he is not that kind of person. And he has been working, no, I'm sorry, it's not a working situation. He's supporting his children as of now, even though he only makes disability check collection. His wife works at Delta, and they have to support their family, especially the daughter gave birth to a girl on July 30, 2021. And now they have a 7-month-old baby they have to support. So we would like to request for a signature bond, Your Honor. Thank you.
See Ms. Young and Ms. Reese on the line. If either of you would like to address the court, you don't have to, but if you'd like to address the court, I'll need for you to unmute yourself. And I see Ms. Young has her hand raised. If you'll unmute yourself. Raise your right hands for me.
Wait, are you speaking to the both of us? Are you addressing the both of us?
Would you both like to speak?
Well, I know I would. I'm not sure about my mom.
Okay, she has her hand up, so I assume that she does want to speak. So if you can both put your hands up, I'll just swear you in at the same time. Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Young, I'll start with you. You can put your hand down. I don't know if I can actually hear you. Can you speak, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay, I can hear you. Go ahead. What would you like to tell the court?
I know that incident happened so long ago, and Anandi and the baby come, and we all spend time together. We have a big family, Your Honor. I'm a mother of 8, and then we have 4 more children. So that's 12 children. We have 3 boys in college and 1 that's about to go to Michigan State. And we were all getting along. Me, Frank, Anandi, and the boys, we were all getting along. Yesterday it's gone, and we having to deal with something right now, and we really need Frank to get back home. It's almost an emergency.
Thank you, Ms. Young. Ms. Reese, what would you like to tell the court?
I would first like to say that while the young lady was speaking, I'm not sure of her last name, but the first lady that spoke about the incident, there are a lot of inaccuracies in the police report. I probably should have viewed it like prior to today, but I didn't expect, like she said, like the incident happened so long ago. Like I'm not even gonna lie, I kind of forgot about it. And also, like, me and my dad, we spoke probably a month afterwards because I did have my baby, and I've forgiven him. And like my mom also said, we do have a big family, and our family isn't perfect. With a lot of children, things happen, like, but I don't know. I guess like I've forgiven him, and quite frankly, if it is possible, I would like for charges to be dropped. And like, I'm just asking for leniency. Like we are like going through something right now as a family. It hasn't been said to my daddy yet, but like he does need to be home with his family. He needs to be home with his family.
Right now. It's not a good time to talk.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Please, Your Honor, he needs to come home. We have a family emergency. And
okay. All right. So it's gonna
ma'am, she was saying something, Mandy, Miss Webb. I know we can't get nothing expedited, but I need, if we can get through with court, because I stayed here in the court, but I needed to go somewhere else for our family emergency. And I need to get to him as soon as I can, so.
So it's gonna be $1,000 signature bond through the jail, which means that he'll be able to sign himself out. No further violent contact with Ms.
But Your Honor, I heard the lady, one of the ladies said something about my baby can't come here no more, but.
I'm not ordering that. I'm not ordering that, Ms. Young, okay?
Oh,
All right. So he's just not to have any further violent contact with,
That's right.
With your daughter, okay?
That's right.
But I'm not gonna keep them apart, so.
Can you please, I'm so sorry for interrupting you. I'm just trying to see, should I come to the place?
Okay, hold on, Ms. Young. Let me finish giving my ruling.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And then I'll let you ask any questions that you need to ask, okay?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so it's gonna be $1,000 signature bond through the jail, no further violent contact with Miss Reese, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Yes.
So he is at Rice Street, Miss Young, so it's gonna take them some time to process him out, but as soon as he's processed out, you can pick him up.
Okay, you say Rice Street, and you say it's take some time to process him.
Yeah, don't worry about it, Mom. I'm familiar with the process, so I'll be able to help you. But this, just let this be resolved. That way, things can go a little bit faster.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You all have a good. I'm sorry to hear that you're having family problems, but good luck to you.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else? Courtroom 2. Is that it?
So we have, Your Honor.
Okay, and I know that we have 2 resets that Mr. Howard informed me of, so. All right, thank you. We will see you all next time. And as soon as Ms. Bridgewater is ready, we can go over the calendar. You're on mute, Ms. Bridgewater.
It was an interesting day.
I apologize. That kind of messed me up. But again, the reset date for SAP is gonna be March the 15th, okay?
Okay.
Position number 1 is reset further notice with a $6,000 total SOB through pretrial. Position number 2 is reset further notice with a $3,000 total SOB through pretrial. Position 3 is reset SAP for March the 15th. Position 4 is reset SAP for March 15th with a $2,000 good bond. Position 5 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 6, I assume, is being reset till tomorrow.
That's correct.
Position 7 is reset further notice with a total $1,500 SOB through the jail. Position 8 is reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 9 is being reset for tomorrow. Position 10 is reset to the SAP calendar with a $2,500 good bond. Position 11 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through the jail. Position 12 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 13 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. Position 14 is reset to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. Position 15 is reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through the jail. Position 16 is reset to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 total good bond. Position 17 is reset to the SAP calendar with a $3,500 good bond. Position 18 is reset further notice with a $1,000 SOB through the jail. And my add-on calendar is reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through pretrial. Are there any questions, comments, or otherwise?
Excuse me, I have a question regarding positions 3 and 4, not so much about the bond, but did Your Honor order a one-time law enforcement escort for positions 3 and 4?
If I didn't, we'll add that on there, Ms. Gandy.
I already added it. I just assumed that it would be.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Bridgewater.
Thank you.
Anything further?
No.
All right, you all have a good rest of the day. We'll see you
Thank
next
you,
time.
Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.